Good afternoon. I'd like to call our meeting to order with a quick roll call. Regent Acker, Regent Beam, Regent Bernstein,
Present.
Regent Brown,
Here.
Regent Hubbard, Regent Illich,
Here.
Regent Weiser,
Here.
Regent White.
Here. And I know Regent Beam and Hubbard are calling in.
They're
so
virtual.
hopefully we can, they'll do it virtually.
I can see Regent Hubbard online.
All right, great.
Thank you very much, Chair Brown. I'd like to begin by joining with the family and friends of Sam Zell in mourning his passing. Sam was a self-made entrepreneur who created what he described as a meritocracy with a moral compass, a man of contagious wit and deep sense of civic responsibility. He was an alumnus and one of our most generous philanthropists, supporting many different areas of our university, including the Sam Zell and Robert H. Lurie Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies. Sam will be deeply missed, but his brilliance, generosity, and loyalty will continue to shine brightly across the University of Michigan. I'd like to thank Chancellor Grasso and his team for being such fantastic hosts in this wonderful venue. It's such a pleasure for all of us to be here at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. I'd like to thank all of you for coming today. I'm also grateful to the board that has extended Chancellor Grasso's term for another 5 years this past February. Let's hear it for Chancellor Grasso. He's earned the opportunity. Since 2018, graduation rates here have increased. Research funding has grown exponentially, and we are seeing record-breaking numbers of international students here on campus. Today, UM Dearborn has more than 8,000 students from 78 countries attending its 4 colleges, and I'm incredibly optimistic about the future possibilities here. Chancellor Grasso, this campus and community has been inspired by your leadership, and we look forward to partnering with you in your future success. It's essential that we continue to build together and grow together as a university. In that regard, I'd like to welcome Richie Hunter to the table. She formally became part of the University of Michigan family on Monday, and this is her first meeting with us as Vice President for Communication. Let's hear it for Richie. In her stead, Rick Fitzgerald has done an outstanding job as Interim Vice President for Communications. Rick, I don't know if you're here or if you're watching, thank you for everything that you've done over the years, but especially during this interim period and for your steadfast service. In addition, I'd like to congratulate Tom Braun and Damani Partridge, our newly elected chair and vice chair of the Senate Advisory Committee on University Affairs. We are looking forward to joining with them in leadership and service to our university community. In addition to our recent commencement, I'd like to acknowledge all of you who joined us. We have had a number of other notable developments since we met in March, including last week, we had a fantastic Pan-Asia alumni reunion in Singapore. University of Michigan is a proudly international university. It's an essential part of our heritage, our identity, and our DNA as an institution. And I'm convinced that with our many enthusiastic alumni, we have an outstanding opportunity to strengthen our profile and increase our impact in Asia. Our strategic visioning process is well underway, and we're continuing to gather input from our campus and community, including 2 town halls at the end of this month. We also formally launched the Campus 2050 Plan project, which will ensure our physical campus develops to provide the living, learning, and working environments necessary to fulfill our strategic vision. A few weeks ago, we finalized an agreement with the state of Michigan to provide $130 million in funding for an electric vehicle center. The center will be focused on the future of electric vehicle technology and workforce development, and will be critical to solidifying our state and our nation as a leader in that industry. Our Institute for Clinical and Health Research received a 7-year, $71 million grant from the National Institutes of Health to improve the progress and process of translational health, so we move more treatments to more patients more quickly. 7 of our faculty members were named to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, one of the most prestigious honorific societies, for their leadership and excellence across academia, the arts, industry, research, and public policy. And 2 additional faculty members were elected to the National Academy of Sciences, one of the highest distinctions for a scientist in the United States. As you can see, we have a brilliant, innovative, world-class faculty, and I'm so pleased that we'll be saluting many of their promotions during today's meeting. The members of our faculty and staff lead with excellence, and they truly make us leaders and best. With that, Chairman Grasso, would you be kind enough to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Aaron Avia?
Thank you, President Ono, and it's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the beautiful Dearborn campus, certainly one of the jewels in the University of Michigan family crown. And if you are wondering, yes, indeed, it is always sunny in Dearborn. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Aaron Ahuvia, the Richard Zanarkey Endowed Collegiate Professor of Marketing in U of M Dearborn's College of Business. He earned his PhD from the Kellogg Graduate School of Management in '92, and then served as assistant professor at the Ross Business School from '92 to '99, when he made the wise choice to join the Dearborn family. Professor Ahuvia conducted the first scientific studies of brand love more than 30 years ago and continues to lead research on this topic. You will hear about his latest research shortly. Aaron has won 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards. The first was the Consumer Brand Relationships Association Fellow Award for outstanding research contributions, and the second, the Static Group Brand Relationship Award, which is a Lifetime Achievement Award for research impact on practice. With over 16,000 citations, he is ranked in the top 2% of all scholars cited worldwide. His most recent book, The Things We Love, was designated by Amazon a Best Business Book for 2022, and it won a silver medal in the Nautilus Rising to the Moment Book Award, and was also featured by CNN and Forbes, among many other media outlets. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you.
It's great to have this opportunity to speak to all of you. Given the time it takes to run for Regent and then do the job, and it's all on a strictly volunteer basis, it's a safe bet that you all share our love for the University of Michigan. That's the kind of love that I study. I research the psychology of love when people love things. Products, brands, hobbies, and universities. I'm going to share with you one finding from my research that's particularly relevant to our university's future. We're all grappling with online classes. There is a lot of well-founded concern that we need to ensure that these classes are academically successful, and we do. But classes are more than academics. Classes are also the places where students get to know the faculty and students form friendships with each other. And for commuter students, Classes are often the only way that they can form these relationships. My research shows that these social relationships are more important to our university's future than it may at first appear. One of my earliest studies looked at what led customers of a matchmaker to be satisfied with the matchmaking service. Going in, I assumed that it would be whether it worked, whether they found a new social relationship through the service. That did matter, but what turned out to matter much more was the quality of their interpersonal interactions with the matchmaker. Similarly, even in the life or death context of healthcare and medicine, studies find that the #1 driver of patients' satisfaction with their doctor is not whether they are healed. Rather, it is the quality of their face-to-face interactions with the physician. It follows that students' relationship, their sense of emotional connection, their interactions with the faculty is going to have an outsized influence on their love for this university. Furthermore, Gallup has even found that if students feel they have one or more faculty or staff person at the university who knows who they are, this increases their graduation rates, something we're very concerned with. Maybe even more surprising, not only do social relationships really drive people's satisfaction with services, but when you look at why people love tangible products, a television, a cell phone, a Cuisinart, it turns out that their love for those products is really driven by social relationships that lurk behind those products. Why does the sports fan love the television set? It's not about the picture quality. It's about the way the television set helps support the friendships when people come over to watch the game. Why does the cook love the Cuisinart? It's because of the way cooking brings the family together over a meal. And why do our students love their cell phones? It's not actually about the phone. It's about their friends that they text with on the phone. I've even found that the more friends a student has, the more they love their phone. Therefore, it is really incumbent on us to be sure that going forward, and as we inevitably begin more work with online classes, that we take seriously the need to plan for and design in opportunities for students to form these kinds of relationships with each other and to develop an emotional connection to the faculty. This can be done. Today, more than half of the people getting married originally met online. Online relationships can become very serious and fulfilling relationships, but we need to take it seriously and we need to plan for it. Finally, I would hope we would recognize that students' emotional connection to the faculty, and frankly, more importantly, their emotional connections to each other are the raw ingredients out of which their love for the University of Michigan is formed.
Thank you very much. I have to tell you, I'm really looking forward to reading the book. So congratulations for its success. Over to you, Chairman Brown, for your report.
Thank you, President Ono. And I realize most of what I'm going to say is repeating many of the things you did in your introduction. First of all, I'd like to thank Chancellor Grasso for hosting us here today. We are, of course, the board of U of M Dearborn, and we take that very seriously and think about it every day. I actually, on a personal note, announced my candidacy for Board of Regent on the Dearborn campus to kind of show the focus that I and this board would have on this great campus. Secondly, we learned of the passing of Mr. Zell during some of our meetings today. And I just wanted to say, I heard a story about Mr. Zell when we were reminiscing once we heard the sad news. And that was, he was speaking to a class in the Center for Entrepreneurship. And he said, my whole career, I found myself in this, doing something, leading the way. And I'd look around and nobody was there doing it with me, no other competition, no other investors. And I thought, oh boy, that's can be a bad sign. No, it's just over and over again. I was doing something and nobody else was doing it. And I thought, I must be crazy. And of course, he wasn't crazy. He was right. Time and time again when he led the way. And it doesn't surprise me that someone who went to the University of Michigan was a leader and best. And without that type of bravery and execution, it wouldn't, our society wouldn't be pushed forward, our species wouldn't be pushed forward. And it's just, we have a great loss of someone who really changed for the better a lot of industries. Lastly, I just want to make a comment also about the presidential introductory events. Many of them were technically hosted by the Board of Regents, and we had a board member, I think almost all of them. I was able to attend several. And President Ono, you were wonderful. Our alumni all over the world literally were so excited to see you. And it just was one of the most thrilling and invigorating experiences for me as a regent to see the largest group of alumni of any university in the world and how excited and passionate they are about our university and their continued support of this university.
Well, I really appreciate Chairman Brown, you being and the other reasons for being at many of these events. And you're absolutely right that their enthusiasm for the university is really very uplifting. So thank you for your remarks. We're going to move on to the regular business agenda of this Regents meeting. You have before you the minutes and reports. They're also located on the website for the Board of Regents, if anybody would like to look at them in detail. And we're going to move on because those reports are on the website to our report from Chancellor Grasso, a Dearborn campus report.
Thank you, President Ono. I'd like to report that we held 3 commencement ceremonies on April 30th indoors at our field house. It was a beautiful day and a beautiful set of ceremonies. We awarded almost 1,200 degrees from bachelor's to PhD. Mark Howes, a U of M Dearborn alum and former group president at John Deere, was our commencement speaker. Mark delivered one of the best commencement addresses that I have ever heard. It was inspiring and well received. And Denise Illich was our regent at one of the ceremonies, and it was an honor to have her there as well. For the first time, 2 students from our College of Engineering and Computer Science were named as prestigious Rackham pre-doctoral fellows. This is an elite group of students and of just over 100 or so students. And for the first time, we've had 2 of our students included in this group. Brendan West, one of our business seniors, helped Team USA win the gold over Canada during the World Cup of University Hockey Tournament in Romania in April. Brendan was a top 10 scorer in the tournament. And on a similar sports note, we had our first senior students versus senior administrators kickball game before commencement. And even though we threatened to hold back their degrees, they still beat the administrators 2-0. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Now over to our Flint campus report. Chancellor Dutta.
Thank you, President Ono. I'm also pleased to share with you that last month we held our commencement. It was very successful. The point I want to make here for all of you is that U of M Flint graduated the very first cohort of physician's assistant program. This highly sought after program is the only program only PA program offered at the University of Michigan's 3 campuses. The program has already increased its intake from 38 to 50. As we enter spring and summer, our campus engages the community of Flint, hosting events that bring visitors to campus and to downtown Flint. So I'd just like to highlight a few. Earlier this month, U of M Flint's Department of Public Safety and Department of Education partnered with local law enforcement agencies to build awareness and understanding between autistic people, their families, and the police. This officer-friendly day, now in its second year, helps build relationships between the groups to increase safety and the safety of autistic individuals. Students and professors of the university's Maker Lab created a 3D safety village with sidewalks, stoplights, allowing attendees to learn more about navigating a city environment by using toy cars. On May 11th, our Office of Research and Economic Development hosted the Michigan Economic Developers Association Spring Conference. Attendees included economic development professionals, industry partners, institutions of higher education, and municipal leaders. The event covered important topics, including how the city of Flint is building an entrepreneurial ecosystem and how communities are filling unused space as remote work continues in many sectors. Flint's Information Technology Services and the College of Innovation Technology partnered with Michigan High School Esports Federation to host the organization's Spring 2023 State Finals. It was held May 13th on campus. Over 150 students from 30 teams competed at the event. It was the first in a series of finals that will be held at U of M Flint, which has been selected by the organization to host the tournaments through 2028. Just as a note, our varsity level esports program began during the pandemic in 2020 with 18 members and has now grown to more than 110 students. Finally, tomorrow, U of M Flint will host the Critical Issues in Education Conference, focusing on teaching and learning in the era of COVID. The two-day event will bring P12 higher education professionals together to assess how the pandemic has changed the education landscape and to develop a deeper understanding and strategies to impact the overlapping concerns affecting students and educators alike. So lots of activities on campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Dutta. Now it's my pleasure to call upon the University of Michigan Dearborn Student Government President, Darina Mati.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Regents, distinguished guests, and fellow students, I stand before you today as the President of Student Government here at University of Michigan Dearborn, representing the voices and aspirations of our vibrant student body. I am honored to have this opportunity to share with you the remarkable accomplishments of our student government from our previous semester, as well as our goals for the future. Over the past semester, the student government has achieved numerous milestones that showcase our commitment to sustainability, leadership, and community involvement. In collaboration with our esteemed faculty, we organized a highly successful sustainability fair where we raised $300 for donations for the Environmental Interpretive Center. Additionally, we planted 2 trees to commemorate the Chancellor's reappointment, symbolizing our dedication to a greater and more beautiful campus. Furthermore, we reached out to high school student councils, enlightening them about the significance of leadership and community engagement with the aim of inspiring future student leaders. Amidst these accomplishments, our student government has made amendments to our structure, enhancing our effectiveness and inclusivity. We introduced the role of Director of Technology, responsible for producing informative flyers and overseeing social media presence. The Public Relations Committee has been transformed into the Outreach Committee, focused on keeping our fellow students informed about the activities and initiatives of the student government. Moreover, we established the requirement for each committee to have an advisor ensuring the efficiency and success. Beyond our own campus, we extend our support to the wider community. We organized a campus-wide event to collect public comments on the inclusion of Middle East North Africa box on the U.S. Census form, promoting inclusivity and representation. Through our collaborative efforts, we distributed 300 Ramadan baggies as well as 500 exam baggies to those preparing for exams. In conclusion, the student government has remained to dedicate to serving and representing the diverse needs of our student body. One of our most successful events was the resource fair, where we hosted in collaboration with Dearborn Support. So we have forged a partnership with Precision Health as well on their My Part project, which aims to diversify medicine one sample at a time. With their continued support and our collaborative efforts, we aspire to make a lasting impact. Additionally, in line with the goals that I ran on during my re-election campaign, accessibility remains as a key focus for us. We are working on revamping the research page to make it more accessible for students, ensuring that they can easily find the research that they need. Furthermore, we are actively pursuing the establishment of study courses for our students. I have already engaged with faculty members who have expressed their willingness to support this endeavor. As we move forward, I am confident that our student government will continue to foster an inclusive and supportive environment on campus. We will remain headstrong in our commitment to amplifying student voices, addressing their needs, and working tirelessly to make their time at the University of Michigan Dearborn even more fulfilling and rewarding. Thank you for your attention and support. Go Blue and go Dearborn.
Thank you very much. That was a wonderful report. As mentioned earlier in my remarks, faculty promotions take place this month, and you heard some examples of outstanding faculty on all three of our campuses. You're going to hear more wonderful stories now. The following provides just a few of the highlights from each campus and the medical school. Let's start with Provost McCauley.
Thank you, President Ono. The University of Michigan's essential work of challenging the present and enriching the future is only possible through the efforts of our faculty who create, preserve, and pass on knowledge to the next generation of citizens and leaders. Today, we are bringing forward 279 recommendations for promotion. This includes 153 instructional track promotions for your review and approval. In addition, there are 118 recommendations for promotion for clinical faculty and 8 for research faculty. Each of these has been carefully reviewed at the department, school, provost, and presidential level. I present them to you with great pride in the accomplishments of the faculty being recommended for promotion. I'm pleased to share information about 3 of these faculty members. Aubrey Gordon is recommended for promotion to Professor of Epidemiology with tenure and Professor of Global Public Health without tenure in the School of Public Health. Dr. Gordon currently serves as the Director of the Michigan Center for Infectious Disease Threats and Pandemic Preparedness. Her research focuses on the dynamics of influenza transmission, natural history, susceptibility to influenza, and the development of immunity. Dr. Gordon's work focuses on both the transmission of respiratory viruses and the development of immunity. In addition, Dr. Gordon works on dengue virus, chikungunya virus, and Zika virus immunity and transmission. She was instrumental in rapidly mobilizing multiple large field studies of influenza and SARS-CoV-2 during the pandemic. Work that continues and will be instrumental in responding to infectious disease threats. Her research addresses fundamental questions that are of the utmost priority for the development of next generation vaccines. Our next faculty member, William Calvo Quiros, is recommended for promotion to Associate Professor of American Culture with tenure in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts, and Associate Professor without tenure in the Penny W. Stamp School of Art and Design. Dr. Calvo Quiros is an international leader in Mexican and U.S. Latinx religious and cultural studies at the intersection of feminist, decolonial, queer, and borderland theories. He focuses on the complex political, cultural, and religious experiences of people moving through and along the U.S.-Mexico border. His scholarly contributions are notably enhanced by his pursuit of important public-facing work, including consulting with the Vatican and reviewing for the MacArthur Foundation. He is published not only in premier academic journals, but in other formats, making his ideas more accessible to students and the broader public. He is beloved by his students as an excellent, inventive, and invested teacher. Joy Lynn Mondiza is recommended for promotion to Associate Professor of Industrial and Operations Engineering with tenure in the College of Engineering. Professor Mondiza focuses on the role of mentoring in student success in key areas of STEM programs. Her research on engineering management and operations, engineering education, and mentoring research has led to new actionable mentoring approaches that promote success of all students, addressing issues of mental health, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Her impact on students and personal engagement in their academic and personal development is evident in the outstanding letters of support students have written on behalf of Professor Mondiza. Her funding includes the NSF-funded career program, as well as 5 additional NSF grants for a total of $2 million in funding. We are truly fortunate to have these and so many other talented faculty on our campus. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Provost. Over to the Executive Vice President for Health Affairs and Dean of the Medical School, Marshall Runge.
Thank you, President Ono. Today, I'm pleased to highlight 2 of our medical school faculty receiving promotions. The first is Michelle Collenberg, MD, PhD, who is being promoted to professor within the Department of Internal Medicine. Dr. Collenberg has more awards, more grants, more citations than I can possibly count, as well as some really unique and thought-provoking research. And all of this has resulted in her becoming known as the international expert on systemic lupus erythematosus. She sits on a number of scientific advisory boards, including the Lupus Research Alliance, the Arthritis National Research Foundation, and the Rheumatology Research Foundation. She has countless achievements and accolades, but one that truly stands out is the 2019 Presidential Early Career Award for Scientists and Engineers. This is the highest award, the highest honor the U.S. government bestows on exceptional promise for leadership in science and technology. Our second faculty member is Shelley Flegel, PhD, who's being promoted to professor of the Department of Psychiatry and research professor of the Michigan Neuroscience Institute. Dr. Flegel is also an internationally recognized expert. Within her realm of behavioral neuroscience, she's been elected as the president of the European Behavioral Pharmacology Society and also serves on the committee for the Society for Neuroscience, which is the world's largest organization of scientists devoted to understanding the brain. In her research, she seeks to understand what neural mechanisms contribute to individual differences in vulnerability to psychiatric disorders and what techniques can help probe complex brain-behavior relationships across species. She also believes in spreading knowledge, from sharing her research in Scientific American to serving on the editorial board of several top neuroscience journals and directing training programs that invest in the next generation of scientists, that enhance diversity in STEM and support public outreach. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. Over to Chancellor Dutta.
Thank you, President Ono. I'm pleased to recommend this afternoon 13 faculty members from U of M, Flint, 4 schools and colleges for promotion. I would like to speak about 2 of them this afternoon. First, Amy York. I'm pleased to recommend Dr. York for promotion to Professor of Physical Therapy with tenure. She is a Myron and Margaret Weingarten Professor and serves as the Associate Director for Community Engagement in the Physical Therapy Department. Dr. York's expertise in the area of neurologic physical therapy is recognized nationally. Her research focuses on topics such as exercise in people with Parkinson's disease, walking speed in people with neurological disease, and knowledge translation interventions to implement clinical guidelines. Dr. York has shown an unwavering commitment to serving the Flint community while engaging in impactful academic work as an instructor, researcher, and mentor to junior faculty and students. She is a leader at HEART. HEART is an acronym, HEART, an interprofessional pro bono health service for community members. And last year, she was selected as a recipient of the Governor's Service Award for Health Impact. I would also like to speak about Dr. Rebecca Tonieto. I'm recommending her for promotion to Associate Professor of Biology with tenure. As an instructor, Dr. Tonieto takes great care to provide an inclusive classroom environment that is grounded in the scientific method. She is committed to student research, serving as a faculty advisor for more than 50 undergraduate and graduate students. A key facet of Dr. Tonieto's research is its interdisciplinary character, including ecology, conservation, sustainability, and social science, as well as her commitment to public scholarship. Her projects, such as urban agriculture and pollinator conservation, native lawn alternatives, and the Flint River Restoration Study, have provided opportunities for numerous students to get involved with research and to make meaningful contributions to the community and the field of ecology. This summer, she'll be joined by students in a research collaboration to monitor our experimentally designed low-growing native plant communities as alternatives to turf grass lawns for the Midwest. Dr. York and Tonieto are examples of faculty excellence at U of M Flint. I'm very proud of their achievements to date and look forward to their continued contributions to their fields, to U of M Flint, and the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Dada. Over to you, Chancellor Grasso.
Thank you, President Ono. We are last, but certainly not least. We are presenting 19 members of the faculty for promotion and tenure today, and it was a difficult decision to just choose 2 to highlight in this presentation. The first, though, that I would like to highlight is Dr. Anda Botasananu. She is currently Associate Professor of Health Policy Studies, and she's being recommended for promotion to Professor of Health and Human Services, and also being promoted to Associate Research Scientist in the Institute of Gerontology in the Medical School on the Ann Arbor campus. Dr. Botasananu has an MD degree from Hebrew University in Israel, an MBA from the University of Iowa, and a PhD in Health Management and Policy from U of M Ann Arbor. Her research focuses on several interrelated areas related to aging, highlighting the importance of using integrated sociobiological frameworks when investigating the roots and possible solutions for addressing health inequities facing aging populations. She is known as a prodigious collaborator with a strong peer network and has helped her gain a national and international presence in her field. She has secured more than $6 million in funding. Dr. Botasananu is also a highly regarded teacher and colleague and sets high expectations for her students, for which she consistently earns their admiration. She publishes her work in top journals and is highly cited. One of her external reviewers highlighted themes similar to many, noting that I have often turned to Dr. Botasananu's publications for guidance and believe her promotion case to be a slam dunk. We agree, and we are proud to present her case for affirmative Regental action today. The second is Dr. Wenkong Su, Associate Professor of Electrical and Computer Engineering, who is being recommended for promotion to full professor in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Wenkong Su holds a BS from Clarkson University, an MS from Virginia Tech, and a PhD from NC State, all in electrical engineering. His research centers on power and energy systems, transportation, electrification, machine learning applications, and cyber physical systems. He's published over 70 papers, almost all in top journals, with 39 in the last 3 years, a remarkable level of productivity by any standard. His work has been cited almost 6,000 times. Professor Su has worked on multiple sponsored research programs totaling more than $4 million since joining U of M Dearborn. His portfolio includes in industry and government collaborations. He is also regarded as an excellent teacher who motivates and engages his students through in-class discussions and team-based exercises. He is a respected and sought-after mentor as well. One representative external reviewer commented that Dr. Su is an outstanding researcher with an extraordinary ability. He has made seminal and significant contributions to the field of electric power systems and continues to conduct complex and original research. Something I especially appreciate about Professor Su is his consideration of the human impacts of technological advancement. He emphasizes the need to pay attention to the impact on underserved communities, insisting that the next iteration of our electric grid will only be successful if it is both reliable and equitable. This manner of thinking demonstrates why Professor Su is so highly respected and so deserving of promotion. Go Blue, go Dearborn.
Thank you very much. I hope you agree we have some extraordinary faculty on all three campuses. So thank you to all of you for your updates. We now move on to personnel reports. Provost Macaulay, I understand that you have an update on GEO.
Thank you, President Ono. I'd like to provide a brief update on graduate student funding and negotiations with the Graduate Employees Organization, or GEO. Last week, the university's negotiating team delivered a comprehensive package to GEO in response to all outstanding issues. This package includes the fourth salary proposal from the university, 12.5% over 3 years on the Ann Arbor campus and 6.75% in total raises at Dearborn and Flint. This is one of the largest packages proposed to the union in its 50-year history. The union has yet to make a counteroffer on salary. Their demand stands, as it has for 6 months, at a 60% increase for graduate workers in Ann Arbor and Dearborn and 88% in Flint in the first year. Under the university's proposal, GSIs would make about $39 an hour by the end of the contract. Most GSIs work 16 to 20 hours per week, 8 months a year. The current living wage in Ann Arbor, according to the MIT wage calculator, is $18.67 an hour for one adult with no children working full-time. Combined with childcare subsidies, comprehensive health insurance, university paid full tuition for GEO members who work as few as 7.5 hours per week. This combined with the value of a U of M degree, our offerings will continue to attract and retain top-tier graduate students. Indeed, the total package for our GEO members ranges on average between $64,000 and $77,000 per year. For doctoral students, the compensation and benefits provided in the collective bargaining agreement are part of a broader academic funding commitment. Each year, we spend nearly $750 million in financial aid for graduate students. As of May 1st, the funding package for our doctoral students puts U of M at the top of the Big Ten and at the top of AAU public peers. With the support of a state-appointed mediator, the university continues to ask GEO to bargain more frequently. As of today, they've only agreed to one additional day in May and will not commit to dates for June. Last week, U of M negotiators informed the union that without substantial movement from GEO, the university would petition the state labor board to engage in the fact-finding process. The union did not make substantial movement, and the university filed for fact-finding yesterday. This process involves a neutral state-appointed fact-finder who reviews the remaining issues and provides recommendations for settlement. The final report is not binding on either party, but often, and we hope will, aid in coming to a mutual agreement. Over our 5-decade relationship with GEO, we have consistently arrived at agreements that support grad student career success. We hope that more frequent and collaborative bargaining will result in a mutually beneficial contract soon. One adverse effect of the strike is the withholding of grades by a small number of instructors. As of this morning, 95.5% of all grades have been submitted for winter term. The large majority of classes that are still missing grades are independent study or study abroad classes that, while still vital to record, customarily arrive later than usual. Concerns have been raised in recent days about the methods some departments are using to resolve missing grades. We are looking into these concerns and asking leaders across our units to do all they can to ensure that grades are as accurate as possible and meet our standards of academic integrity. This has been a challenging series of events for our campus. Leaving students without grades for a course they have completed is disheartening. It affects their financial aid, applications for work and graduate school, enrollment in spring and summer classes, and other career plans. For anyone who would like more information, the university's GEO negotiations webpage and the U of M key issues page about negotiations provide up-to-date background information regularly. Thank you, President Ono.
I have a question.
Sure.
If I heard you right, the total compensation package, which includes health, tuition, childcare subsidies, and then pay for work, the report that I had seen was a slightly different number than the report that it was a higher number.
What I quoted was an average. It
Oh,
would
an
depend
average.
if
Okay.
students were resident, in-state, or out-of-state can significantly
Okay.
vary the tuition, right?
Okay.
And the number of children, these are things that can vary.
So when I saw the report that was 80 to 100,000, the 77 is the average of all.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I call upon EVP Runge, who has an update on House officer negotiations.
Thank you. Thank you, President Ono. Bargaining continues to progress with the University of Michigan House Officers Association, the HOA, with the current contract expiring on June 30th. I'd like to provide a few updates. The HOA requested the use of a mediator who began attending negotiations on May 9th. The parties were successful in closing out non-economic issues and are moving to just economic wages and benefits. The parties met with the mediator for a second session on Tuesday, May 16th, and exchanged updated proposals, but remained far apart on salary proposals. Our compensation package for House officers, which includes both salary and lump sum cash payment, is well over the 75th market percentile for House Officer 1 through House Officer 9 classifications. Our starting compensation package is roughly $6,000 per year greater than the national median. And by the time they reach House Officer level 8, our House officers are making $99,216 per year, nearly $15,000 more than the national median. House officers also receive other kinds of financial support that make UM an attractive place to do residency. These include holiday pay, paid leave, meal stipends, and phone stipends. Each resident is also eligible for Step 3 exam reimbursement, part of the credentialing process, which currently is $915. We are eager to finish finalizing a contract. We look forward to getting back to the negotiating table next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall, and thank you, Lori. I'd like to take this moment to emphasize how important our relationships are with all of our unions, and we recognize the importance of their work and their presence here. In the decades since the 70s, we've had many fruitful conversations and productive contracts with the unions. Their members are our students, our fellow instructors, and our colleagues. While collective bargaining will involve differences of opinion and compromises, we all here are at the same university. Our negotiating teams, their teams, representatives of the university are committed to reaching, we hope, a successful agreement in the long term. The cadence of bargaining for which we are all advocating in a forward-looking approach is an outreached hand, and we hope that we will reach compromise and negotiation. The approach has in the past resulted in many successful contracts with many labor unions. So despite today's challenges, we remain hopeful that we can come together with respect and humility and find common ground and reach a contract that serves our students and the university. So thank you to both of you. All right, so we now move on to the retirement memoirs, and Provost Macaulay has some comments.
Thank you, President Ono. We have many emeritus recommendations for distinguished faculty who've made notable contributions to our university. I would like to highlight two who exemplify dedicated service to the university through their university level leadership. Melody Racine is an associate professor of musical theater and former chair of the Department of Voice, senior associate dean for academic, faculty, and student affairs, and interim dean of the School of Music, Theater, and Dance. In addition to being a highly accomplished leader, she's a renowned performer and master teacher. She's a recipient of the Harold Howe Award for Excellence in Studio Instruction. In addition, she maintains a studio of professional singers who grace the Broadway and operatic stages and performs lead roles in operas all over the United States and Italy. Congratulations to Professor Emerita Racine. David Lamb is a professor of economics and a research professor in the Population Studies Center, whose career includes an extensive body of research and many leadership positions of distinction. Professor Lamb's research focuses on the interaction of economics and demography in developing countries. Professor Lamb also served as the director of the Institute for Social Research. He has served as a president of the Population Association of America and is a member of the Council of the International Union for the Scientific Study of Population. He's been a member of the Committee on Population of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences and has served as an advisor or consultant to the World Bank, the U.S. National Institutes of Health, the United Nations Population Division, and the South Africa Office of the Presidency. Congratulations, Professor Emeritus Lamb. There are numerous other colleagues outlined in the board materials as well. Thank you, President Ono.
Thank you very much, Provost. There's one memorial this month, and Vice President Churchill would like to comment.
Excuse me. Thank you, President Ono. We do have a memorial in the book this month for Dr. John Schulenberg, who was a personal friend and someone many of you are aware of and familiar with, even if you may not realize it. John was one of the principal investigators in ISR's Monitoring the Future study, which is a longitudinal study of the use of drugs, alcohol, tobacco, and other substances by young people over the course of their lives until they turn 60 years old. And the findings every year that show upticks or downticks of use of these substances are reported every year in the paper, and I'm sure you've seen them, and they inform national policy and state policy on these matters. John died suddenly and unexpectedly at too young an age, leaving his wife, Dr. Kathleen Connell, who is a very distinguished professor on our School of Public Health faculty and a friend to everybody here, as the former interim dean in the School of Public Health, and a wonderful person. He will be deeply missed by his colleagues, his friends, and his family. So thank you.
Thank you very much, VP Churchill. I now call on a vote on the consent agenda. Is there a motion? A seconder? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed?
Aye.
Anyone abstaining? All right. We now move on to the regular agenda and we'll go item by item. We first have a report in terms of public equity, a currency overlay manager to VP Chattis.
Nothing to add, Mr. President.
Seconder? All those in favor? Anyone opposed?
Aye.
Anyone abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. Second item is a alternative asset commitment. VP Chattis,
Nothing to add, Mr. President.
I heard a motion. Is there a seconder?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. Planned uses of income for the Julian A. Wolfson and the Margaret Wolfson Endowment Funds for fiscal year 2023-24. VP Chattis,
Again, nothing to add, Mr. President.
is there a motion? Seconder? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. Next item, appointment of auditors, VP Chattis,
Nothing to add, Mr. President.
seconder? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. Authorization to purchase real estate, 1100 Catherine Street, Ann Arbor, VP Chattis.
Thank you, Mr. President. The university has been presented with an opportunity to purchase property from the Vangelatos family, who for decades have been running Angelo's, a beloved icon in Ann Arbor. When the family approached the university about the possibility of selling, they explained that they want to close the business on their own terms. We appreciate them entrusting us with the property. They have made an incredible contribution to the Ann Arbor community, and we respect their decision to close the business now. Their story resonates with me personally as the grandson of Greek immigrants who went into the restaurant business to earn a better life for their family. The Vangelatos family also immigrated from Greece. They invested long, hard years of labor and love in their business, and now they want to close. Angelo's and Angelo's on the side are situated close to the U of M medical campus. Now that the family has opted to close them, the property makes sense for the university to acquire, since it will further the university's options for development in the Catherine Street area. The university will acquire the property at 1100 Catherine Street at the negotiated price of $4.5 million, subject to the university satisfying itself with the environmental condition of the site and otherwise completing due diligence. Reserves will be used to complete the purchase, and I recommend this action item for approval.
Thank you, VP Chattis. Some comments?
I was just, have we modeled the negative consequence to the cardiovascular center? Based
We're
upon
gonna
the closure of
find a
it.
new source of raisin toast
I mean,
as
first
well.
would be burgers and now. Only place I would have a milkshake at breakfast. At breakfast.
I must say that thousands of Wolverines will miss that, wonderful place for brunch and for other meals. So there's a motion and there's a seconder. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Move on to authorization to purchase real estate, 40 acres of land in Burnt Township. VP Chattis,
Nothing to add, Mr. President.
is there a motion? A seconder?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Authorization to purchase real estate acquisition of 49 properties in an area bounded by South Division Street, South Fifth Avenue, East Madison and Hill Streets, Ann Arbor, Michigan, for the purpose of phase 2 of the residential development program. VP Chattis,
Mr. President, we have identified up to 49 properties within the specified area that are suitable for purchase and would provide the land needed to further expand the new undergraduate housing development constituting a phase 2 of the project. The properties would be purchased from limited liability corporations controlled or owned by Regent Ron Weiser without any personal profit for Regent Weiser himself. The university intends to minimize the disruption to the housing market by honoring the existing contracts of any tenants currently living at any of the 49 properties and continuing to lease to tenants as long as reasonably practical until future phase 2 construction is underway. The university will acquire the properties as described for up to $75 million, subject to due diligence and to the satisfaction and discretion of the EVP CFO, and I recommend this action for approval.
Thank you, VP Chattis. Regent Weiser,
No,
you're recusing yourself. Okay, wonderful. Chair Brown?
yeah, I'd like to just say a couple of things. It's been said before, this project could not have been done without the personal expertise in finances of Regent Weiser. It's incredibly generous what he's done, and literally tens and tens of thousands of students at University of Michigan will benefit from this project that was only possible because of Regent Weiser's expertise over the next century or more. Thank you.
Regent Acker?
You're going to get it twice from both of us, Ron. You know, as a Democrat on this board, I get asked sometimes by people, how could you work with Ron Weiser? And the answer is this, is that there's nobody who's more dedicated to the current and future success of the university than Ron. Putting his money where his mouth is and putting personal risk on the line to get housing, to make sure that our future students have adequate housing. So Ron, thank you for doing what you're doing here. This is going to be a great facility when it's all done. And we really appreciate all the work that you've done here.
Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Yes.
You abstain with one abstention. Thank you so much, Regent Weiser. The next item is the Kellogg Eye Center and Bream Tower boiler and hot water feed connection. VP Chattis?
Nothing to add, Mr. President.
May I add that this is something that's wonderful because my laboratory is located there? Is there a motion to approve?
Don't move.
Seconder?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Anyone abstaining? I suppose I should. So anyway, thank you very much. We now move on to the new Central Campus Residential Development, VP Chattis and VP Harmon. Any comments?
Yeah, Mr. President, as you know, planning continues on the new Central Campus Residential Development Phase 1, which will add 2,300 undergraduate beds and a 900-seat dining facility. Due to unexpected delays, we are now planning to bring the final budget and a project approval to you, the board, in September. To keep the project on schedule, there are some key elements of the project that need to happen this summer, including geothermal drilling, other early site work, and the purchase of long lead materials. In addition, we will continue to engage American campus communities to oversee the project development, and as such, plan to finalize and execute a development agreement with the firm. While the agreement will be dependent on the final project and budget approval by the board in September, it will provide a contractual arrangement with ACC to oversee early construction of the project over the summer. We ask the Board of Regents to delegate authority to the EVP and CFO to enter into a development agreement with American campus communities to oversee the continued advancement of this project with expenses not to exceed $30 million, and we recommend this action item for approval.
VP Harmon, do you have any comments? Great. I should say this is a supplemental item just for everyone's information. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? The North Central Campus Residential Development request has been approved. I think that's it. We now move on to items 9 through 27 on conflict of interest items, each of which requires at least 6 votes for approval. Does anyone have any questions about a particular item in items 9 through 27? If so, let me know. Would any regents like to request recusal from voting on any items 9 through 27? Seeing none, I call for a vote on these items as a group. Is there a motion to approve? Second. Wonderful. All those in favor, please raise your hand so we can see them. Count 6.
I'm raising my hand.
Me too.
We have
My hands raised.
we have them all up. Anybody
Hands on the steering wheel.
Anybody opposed? Nobody's opposed. Anybody recusing? Abstaining? I see none. And so items 9 through 27 are approved. We now move on to approval of the 2025-2026 academic calendar. Provost McCulley,
Nothing to add.
motion to approve. Seconder. All those in favor? Anyone, anyone abstaining? The 2025-2026 academic calendar has been approved. We now move on to public comments. VP Churchill.
Thank you, President Ono. Each commenter has up to 2 minutes to address the board at the mic in the center there. Mr. Ryan will be there in case you have handouts or something. And I will call the first 2 speakers so you can be ready in the queue. Our first speaker is Amir Fleshman. Our second speaker after Amir will be Rebecca Smith.
Hello, my name is Amir. I'm a PhD candidate in political science. I first came and spoke at one of these meetings back in November. Initially, I was optimistic. Graduate workers had spent months doing research and developing proposals that would make the University of Michigan a better place to learn and work. When I met with individual regents, you all repeatedly told me that our proposals were no-brainers. Several of you used that phrase. I wrote it down. I thought that with the Board of Regents composed mostly of self-proclaimed pro-labor Democrats, we would be able to reach an agreement that would be beneficial for everybody. Instead, we're stuck. Little progress has been made at the table. Proposals that were once no-brainers are now impossible and unrealistic. And now we're staring down the barrel of a false strike. You might be wondering how we got here. To find those responsible, you need only look in the mirror. It isn't nefarious radical union leadership that has pushed hundreds of grad workers into striking for 2 months. You have done that yourselves. You have done that by responding to our cost of living crisis with an effective pay cut. You have done that by trying to circumvent our collective bargaining process by rushing out the Rackham summer funding plan. You have done that by telling us we ought to be happy as starving graduate students. You have done that by suing your own students and by withholding our pay. Now, your administration is perpetrating what is likely the largest act of mass academic misconduct in recent history. By pressuring department chairs and non-instructional staff into fabricating grades for the students of striking GSIs, you are bringing this great institution into disrepute and likely threatening its accreditation. This is shameful. It doesn't have to be this way. You, the pro-labor Democratic Regents, have the power to end this fiasco. Our proposals are, in fact, no-brainers. Give us a fair contract and get us back in the classrooms where we belong.
I understand Regent Brown wishes to speak.
Yes, and Amir, if you can, by all means, you can decline. I did have a comment and then a question, and it's very public, so you don't need, you can answer it after if you'd rather. But as an executive of the union, I thought it best to speak now and say it. There has been a lot written in the press, or more statements made by your union, and some by you just now, disparaging the board and questioning our commitment to our employees, specifically our represented employees. This is something that's very personal to me and many of my fellow board members, all of my fellow board members. Just for context, I grew up in a union household. My mother was a Teamster. I was a longshoreman in high school and college. One of the large motivations for running for this position was to support our employees, represented and not represented. I was a member of your sister union, Leo, for many, many years. I was taking part in direct action before some of you were out of diapers. Not you guys. I mean, at this table. And my experience and dedication to employees pales in comparison to my fellow members of the board. And so when these statements are made, I think they deserve a response. And one of the speakers who's going to talk later mentions that this school has participated in union busting and insights for all of the labor on campus, including GLAM, which ironically was formed in large part with the support of the new policy that was created by this board to support organizing on campus. And during my tenure and during the last 10 years, labor numbers, represented employees of this institution have increased. The pay of represented employees has increased at a faster rate than non-represented employees. Hardly what I would define as union busting board. Specifically with this contract, I don't have enough detail to speak to many of the non-economic terms. I'm happy to get in deeply with any of it anytime, as you know I am, and I speak to your members frequently as often as I can. But one question I want to ask, and again, you can answer it later if you want, and it's a question I've asked in the past, so that's why I feel comfortable asking now, because I assume you've thought of it deeply. The compensation question and the theory behind it of living wage is one that I believe in deeply. I believe all employers have a moral obligation to pay their employees a living wage. And in fact, and therefore I very much agree with the city of Ann Arbor's charter is the wrong word, call for all employers in the city to pay that wage. But that includes, that definition in that charter includes the based on full-time employment. Now, we have many students who struggle financially on our campuses. And we have to work every day to relieve that struggle through financial aid, which we do and need to do more of. But in terms of compensation for work done, i.e. pay for hours worked, that kind of theory of a living wage for GEO, the question is asked, which I've asked you before, what number of hours, what percentage of based on full-time must or should an employee work to be eligible for the number equaling full-time equivalent 38,000? Is it if they work an hour for the University of Michigan in a year, we need to pay them a year's worth of salary, 38,000? If they work 5 hours, half time, 90% time, 100 time, because that's at the core of your request. And I take it seriously, and I want to understand your theory behind that. This is separate from students, whether they're undergrad, master's teaching, master's not teaching, separate from their standard of living and ability to take care of themselves. For work done, what is the number of hours or percent of full-time that needs to be worked to be required for an employer to pay them the full-time salary that you and I believe in?
So I want to make 2 points here. First of all, our position has always been that this is for a 0.5 FTE appointment, right? We have never said that somebody working a 0.25 appointment should be making the living wage of 38.5 that we're asking for.
Okay.
So we are not saying that every worker on campus or working 1 hour for 1 week is going to get you that wage. That has never been our position.
Yeah.
Now, this is an important point.
Yeah.
How do I know that the 0.5 FTE appointment is supposed to be the full-time wage? Well, if I'm in my first year here, I was on fellowship, right? I was paid the same salary, exactly the same as a 0.5 FTE appointment. If I was working only 20 hours a week, I would have been expelled from my program. I was expected to work 40 hours a week and then some to earn that much less than 24K because it was 3 years ago. So we know that this is the funding stream for a full-time job, which is being a PhD student. And whether you're a GSRA or a GSI or on fellowship, you are working full-time and then some, and we deserve a living wage. And mind you, we are highly skilled workers. A living wage of 38K is a modest salary for people of our skill level.
I agree. I want to make sure the distinction. Thank you. Thank you. I want to make sure I understand the distinction between master's working as teachers and also students versus PhDs. And I agree with you that PhDs who are being required to work year round, so to speak, deserve compensation, whatever you want to define it, whether it's for their teaching or their scholarly work, a living wage. But this is the distinction of, in essence, master's students who also teach, or PhD students for the portion of their work that is teaching.
Our bargaining unit contains PhD students and master's students.
Yeah.
We need to bargain for everybody. Unions that have accepted two-tiered compensation systems in the past, be they the United Auto Workers or anybody else, have faced disastrous consequences. A pro-labor board should know that two-tiered systems are not acceptable to unions. The UAW is going to be fighting back against that when they renegotiate their contracts with the big three this fall. We will not accept that for our members.
Yeah, but I again, I want to understand if there's a distinction or if you see a distinction. I don't think the university's position, and tell me if I'm wrong, it creates a two-tiered for the work under the contract. The work under the contract is for the time teaching, and that pays X whether you're a master's or a PhD. And that scholarly work for PhD students in this circumstance, it falls under a different funding stream and compensation. Is that correct? I just wanted to, okay, that's, thank you. And I'm happy to talk after to anybody that wants to. Thanks.
All right, our next speaker is Rebecca Smith.
So we have some books to hand to President Ono and the Regents. So my name is Rebecca Smith. I am a PhD candidate in architecture and a GEO rank and file member. I came here today to say that you are all literally running this institution and its reputation into the ground. And make no mistake, it is not just the reputation of the University of Michigan that is at stake here. Your names and your legacies are now attached to this. As we see in Florida and around the country, we are in a moment of widespread politicized attacks on the value and integrity of higher education and its most basic premises of intellectual freedom. But in this moment, you all are choosing to go all in on the side of profits and austerity and conservatism. We know from our FOIAs that the university was preparing for an injunction back in 2022. The administration never had any intention of averting a strike. You are choosing to support a profoundly anti-labor stance, and this impacts not just us, the striking workers of this university, but it hurts everyone that this public university is intended to serve. I will remind you that a legacy and a name are hard won, but quickly and very easily lost. What kind of university makes up grades for its students? What kind of university promises wages to its workers in the form of summer funding, then capriciously takes it back? What kind of university damages the credibility and integrity of the very education that is the core reason for its existence? The books that we are passing out right now contain hundreds of open letters and media clippings detailing national outrage over this. Alumni and professionals around the country are shocked and horrified that this is what the name on their degree has come to signify. And you've caused all of this harm simply to try to destroy the power of our union. It's not even about the money, because we know that you have the money to pay us a living wage. You just don't want to put it in the contract. When we show up to talk to you, you call the cops on us. But we are the ones that need to be protected, along with every single person associated with this university, from you and your actions. You should all be ashamed of yourselves. Shame on you. Shame on every single one of you.
Our next speaker is Kyle Johnson, and after Kyle Johnson is Linda Huber.
Hi, my name is Kyle Johnson. I'm a resident at the University of Michigan, representing the House Officer Association as their president. First, a couple comments. Dean Runge, thank you for bringing up the 75th percentile and the value in which you place. That's from 2021 data. current H01 offers from the university side sit at the 41st percentile. I'll share the data. We have 19 PGY8s that mentioned we're making 99,000 a year, hardly a majority out of 1,300. Should come to no surprise that residents are the very foundation of Michigan Medicine's tripartite mission: clinical excellence, education, and research innovation. When it comes to excellence, residents work tirelessly alongside a diverse team of providers delivering boots on the ground care to our patients. They monitor, adapt plans, and serve as the embodiment of physician care to our patients. In terms of education, residents play a pivotal role in providing hands-on, formative clinical experiences to the medical students at the University of Michigan. It is their unwavering dedication and sacrifices that have earned our medical students a reputation as some of the strongest in the nation. It's not solely due to their clinical lectures. Residents also serve as mentors and guides, ensuring these future physicians are set up for a lifetime of success and fulfillment. Furthermore, residents are recruited to the University of Michigan for their research excellence. Their prior dedication and achievements are highly valued during the recruitment process. Michigan has consistently been a frontrunner in NIH funded, mentioned today, and is the residents and fellows who tirelessly contribute to research through countless hours of uncompensated work in writing, reviewing, and conducting studies. As the HOA, it is our duty to advocate for current and future residents. And let me be crystal clear, this should be a concern for each and every one of you. Without exceptional residents and fellows, the cherished tripartite Michigan of the hospital is nothing more than a dream that evaporates into air. There is a growing perception that progress between unions and the University of Michigan has hinged on the looming threat of a strike. Residents and fellows are aware of this and increasingly ask about it. We would like to work out our differences at the bargaining table, but our membership is united, informed, and ready to act should you, the Regents, fail to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. After Linda, we have Erica Ventura.
Good afternoon. My name is Linda Huber. I'm a PhD candidate in the School of Information and a GEO member working on the contract language related to protections for immigrant grad workers and for an unarmed non-police response on the UM campus. Over the last 6 months, academic HR has refused to speak to us about these two topics. Despite this lack of feedback, we revised these proposals multiple times to try to get these on the table in any form and to get these needs met. On immigration, for example, we've really stripped these protections down to the bare minimum, just notifying workers as soon as you know before an ICE raid or checking that agents have a valid warrant. This language is essentially costless, yet HR refuses to speak on it. And on the unarmed non-police response, we believe grad workers deserve access to this service to address safety concerns that arise in the classroom. We heard concerns that a campus-wide service like this needs broader community involvement. And so we've shifted our ask to a request for proposals parallel to the process the city of Ann Arbor is itself following for their unarmed non-police response. Still, HR has refused to engage in dialogue on this subject. And it frustrates me endlessly to see GEO painted as failing to bargain in good faith when we've been stonewalled on these issues since November. We've been flexible, we've been creative, trying to figure out how to get these worker safety needs addressed, and there's been no conversation. So I want to appeal to the university leaders in this room to open up dialogue, move us forward toward the resolution if HR is unwilling to do so. Thank you.
Thank you. Erica. And after Erica will be Gunye Kayalar.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Erica Ventura, and I used to work as an animal husbandry technician at ULAM, or the Unit for Laboratory Animal Medicine, since 2018. I was terminated from my position 10 days ago because I was talking out loud in my break room about LGBTQ+ issues. I really don't want to be here, and I'm very, very angry that it's come to this. I'm a member of the queer community who has just beat cancer, and I have an autistic child to support, and I've been terminated. I'm very disappointed in the lack lack of support for our LGBTQ and Black community in regards to disciplinary actions towards the ULAM husbandry manager, Julie Whitbeck, formerly Brinkmeyer. Having publicly revealed her biases via numerous social media posts throughout the years since 2020, she remains in charge of hiring and disciplinary processes at ULAM. I am disappointed in the constant backlash my coworkers and I have received when making our concerns about these biases known to other superiors. In all situations, things done by my coworkers and I to exalt Black lives and support LGBTQ plus people have been met with accusations of bullying, some by Julie herself. Many of those coworkers have since quit, and I have been terminated. My Black and queer coworkers have been forced out due to the hostile environment she has created. As a member of the LGBTQ community, Julie's bigotry makes me extremely uncomfortable. She has accused the LGBTQ community of being a danger to children. She has cornered a gay employee about his sexuality in the past at work. I encourage you to imagine what that can do to someone's mental well-being. The well-being of many Black and LGBTQ plus employees is at risk. I've reached out to the University of Michigan Spectrum Center for more support on this matter, as well as the Equity, Civil Rights, and Title IX Office and Human Resources. Absolutely nothing has been done in over 3 years. It is unacceptable to work in an environment where we do not feel safe, protected, and accepted. And today I ask the Regents and executive officers to finally help us to protect us from discrimination. Thank you.
We have Grunier up and then. Thank you. After Grunier is Elliot Brannon.
Hello, I'm Dunay, a PhD candidate in history, an international student, and a rank and file member of GEO. International grad students and workers face significant extra costs in the university. We need to return to our home countries regularly to renew our visas, some of us yearly, which, with visa and transportation related costs combined, can cost upwards of $2,000 for some of us. This leads to a situation where we need to pay almost a month's worth of salary out of pocket to be able to continue working here. Our friends who have legal and immigration related issues have even greater burdens. Combined with record levels of inflation in the US and drastic rent hikes in the Ann Arbor housing market, many international graduate students face serious financial troubles. As you must be aware, due to federal regulations, it is not possible for us to work more than 20 hours a week or take on extra work. If the university values diversity and inclusion and wants to draw in international talent, it has an interest in supporting its international grad students and workers. Words matter, but what matters more is actual financial resources set aside for this purpose. GEO has proposed an international grad worker fund to reimburse international grad workers immigration and visa-related costs. Academic HR's latest offer was setting aside $15,000 for this fund. This amount will likely cover only 7 or 8 graduate workers' expenses, which is frankly ridiculous. Having a thriving and diverse community at UM would be in everybody's best interest. I think it is ill-advised and short-sighted of the university to refuse to support this international grad student body and to refuse to provide them with a funding package on par with its peer institutions, hurting its reputation in the process. Thank you.
Thank you. Elliot Brannon, and after Elliot is Deborah Heinrich.
My name is Elliot Brannon, and as a medical student, I demand the University of Michigan approach contract negotiations with the House Officers Association with the seriousness and consideration of the value that residents bring to Michigan medicine. Concisely, Michigan medicine as we know it would cease to function without labor of residents and fellows. When graduate student instructors implemented a work stoppage 7 weeks ago for affordability and dignity, they did so with reluctance due to their love of teaching. We, however, see that students continue learning about collective power, learning about building coalitions, and about the insidious hierarchies at the University of Michigan. Graduate students understood that through a work stoppage, they could not only improve their own safety, but that of an entire campus by using a strategy of bargaining for the common good. We also see this in the amendment proposed by Rebecca Modrak and others to strengthen the faculty senate and those doing the plurality of teaching, the core function of this university. In this same sense, many of the HOA demands would result in a better quality of life for residents, which would in turn improve their ability to take care of patients. I wholeheartedly support the demands of the HOA, including 1, additional pay for working extra on-call shifts, 2, salary increases that make Michigan medicine residency program more competitive with peer institutions and match those already given to employees for providing medical care, and 3, ensuring all house officers have access to confidential mental health resources. As we saw in the recent white coat ceremony walkout by U of M medical students in support of access to abortion, a basic and necessary part of healthcare, there is growing, or should I say, looming consciousness of the power of the collective among medical professionals and trainees. From the steadfast Michigan Nurses Association to the recently formed United Physicians Assistants of Michigan Medicine, the chant Ann Arbor is a union town is only becoming more true. As a patient, I stand in solidarity with my healers. As a student, I stand in solidarity with my teachers. As a future physician, I stand in solidarity with my future colleagues. This statement is only the first of medical student actions in solidarity with HOA on contract negotiations. They support us and we strive to support them.
Deborah Heinrich. And after Deborah is Stephanie Barnett.
I am Deb Heinrich, mother of Michael Heinrich. Michael became a complete C6 quadriplegic 6 years ago when a rotted U of M tree fell on him on the street and walkway in front of G.G. Brown Mechanical Engineering Building. Michael's story and pictures may be accessed on his website, heinrichmichael.com. That's HEINRICHMICHAEL.com. I spoke at the last September and December Regents meeting. Because of meeting rules, I've been unable to make another public comment until today. Regents and VP Timothy Lynch, you chose to fight Michael all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court so that you would not have to help Michael with healthcare, tuition, or life. VP Lynch is noted in your litigation reports. You did this based on Michigan's governmental immunity. The tree had the fungus Ionotus striatus surrounding the tree 2.5 years before it fell on Michael. Your foresters were negligent in not following their own University of Michigan campus forest management plan. I have a copy of the plan, which concerningly was taken off the internet shortly after the tree fell on Michael. I have a copy of your plan. The funding to help Michael would come from your own almost $1 billion Veritas Insurance Corporation. No one has responded or contacted Michael regarding his request for justice. In closing, 2.5 weeks ago, Michael graduated from the University of Michigan School of Civil Engineering with a master's degree in transportation engineering, thanks to receiving the National Scholarship from the Craig Nielsen Foundation. At the graduation, Dean Alec Gallagher urged the graduates to be curious and to be kind and empathetic. He said, and I quote, "Good people are the predominant population of society," end quote. Dean Gallagher, I agree. It is evident in my communities, the University of Michigan hospital system, and the university. I am asking President Ono, the Regents and VPs to be part of that population. President Ono, Regents and VPs, I ask you to do what past President Coleman stated, to own your mistakes, that you do what I taught my children, to have accountability, take responsibility, and do what is right. I'm asking you to take care of Michael's health care and life needs.
Stephanie Barnett. Stephanie is next, and after Stephanie is Irene Promo.
Good evening, board members. My name is Stephanie Barnett, and I work as an animal aide in ULAM Unit for Laboratory Animal Medicine. I have been employed with the University of Michigan for 22 years. I am here today on behalf of my colleagues and myself. I find it ridiculous that I had to take the situation this far, but here we are. In June of 2022, our manager, Julie Whitbeck, formerly known as Julie Brinkmeyer, made some disturbing posts on her social media platforms that were offensive and disheartening to my colleagues and myself. These posts include memes, pictures, and sayings that attack people of color in the LGBTQ community. These posts were immediately reported to our managers and Bill King, who is our Associate VP of Research. These are people that we trusted to handle the situation and make sure our work environment is stress-free and non-hostile and welcoming, no matter what color, gender, or sexuality we may have. Julie stated that she could say what she wanted because these were on her personal page. And if we did not like what her post said, she suggested that we refrain from looking at them. We feel that with her upholding the title of a manager, which is a form of leadership, she should have not made these disturbing posts public. With the job title that she holds, she represents not only our department, but the University of Michigan as a whole. These posts were disgusting. She should not be able to manage anyone of color, gender, or sexuality, considering that our department is full of the same people she attacked in her post. Her actions have forced my colleagues and myself to work under a stressful and hostile work environment. So stressful for me that I suffered from a stroke. I am very disappointed in everyone we reached out to, from upper management to HR to our VP of Research, for not taking care of this matter. I am going to ask you today to resolve this issue and show our employees that you care. Please practice the no tolerance for discrimination and harassment policy the University of Michigan has written. We only will continue to get louder if this issue continues to be ignored. Thank you.
Irene. And after Irene is Michael Heinrich. Michael Heinrich is after Irene.
My name is Irene Promoth, and I'm a PhD student in anthropology and a rank and file member of GEO. It is a shame when the university that I, as an international graduate student, struggling with a disability and a family that I have to support back home, refuses to acknowledge the affordability crisis that graduate workers here face every single day. It is appalling when the administration, including landlord Regents, throw their hands up in the air and say to us, the university has nothing to do with the housing crisis in Ann Arbor. It is an embarrassment to the name of this institution when it withholds the pay of striking and non-striking graduate workers after stalling us for nearly a year at the bargaining table. It is unforgivable when, instead of paying us literally just enough to meet median cost of living, that the administration would rather pay its injunction lawyers back in 2022 and force us to strike. And for all your talk of celebrating Dearborn, it is appalling that this administration cannot be bothered to offer pay equity to graduate workers on Dearborn and Flint. And on an annual stipend of $24K, it is literally impossible for me to make my ends meet here, let alone support my family back home or take care of my medical costs. Millions worldwide right now have seen, heard, and recognized our cause and the callousness that this administration has demonstrated and the harm that y'all have incurred to us. A living wage is the bare minimum that we can ask for. It's the bare minimum in our campaign that we can ask for. And it is what we won't stop demanding simply because we cannot afford to.
That's right. Michael Heinrich. After Michael is Cheryl O'Banner.
Can I please have your undivided attention? I know a lot of you have been looking down a lot. Regents, Dr. Ono, life is full of choices. Choices that you make to define who you are, your morals, and your legacy you leave here. You already know my story. You know I'm paralyzed because, by your own lawyer's admission, your arbus was negligent in the maintenance of the tree that fell on me, severing my spinal cord. I sit here because you continue to make the choice to refuse to provide for me healthcare and caregivers so I may live a full life and relieve my family of the daily burden of caring for me. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of each and every one of you actively choosing not to do what is right and moral. I'm ashamed that you do not represent who the university is. The most common question I get is, why did I return to earn my master's degree here? I came back because the university is the professors dedicated to educating students. The university is the doctors and nurses who saved my life and the lives of others. The university is the janitorial staff that ensures students learn in a clean environment. The university is the passionate graduate students who are fighting for the resources they need so they can continue to be the backbone of education and research on campus. The university is the student body who are dedicated to enhancing their understanding of the world while fighting for justice of all people. Right now, Dr. Ono and all the regents, by your active choice to not provide the life assistance I now require, you are not the university, but you still can be. You have the autonomy to make the choice to own up to your own mistakes that were made and do right by the professors, staff, and students. Jordan Acker, Michael Baum, Mark Bernstein, Paul Brown, Sarah Hubbard, Denise Illich, Ron Weiser, Catherine White, and Dr. Santa Ono. Each one of you have the autonomy to stand up and say the right thing to do is provide for me healthcare and caregivers so my parents are relieved of the daily caregiving they provide for me and so I can live a full life in my career as an engineer, planner, and advocate. Life is full of choices, and I implore you to choose morality and justice. I implore you to choose a legacy that reflects who the university is. Thank you.
Cheryl O'Banner.
I'm ready to talk whenever you are. I'm sitting here and I'll keep coming back until we have this conversation. My family needs it. I need it.
Cheryl O'Banner is next. And then after Cheryl is John Larson.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Cheryl O'Banner. I've been employed at Michigan Medicine, formerly known as the University of Michigan Hospital, for 28 years. I am an animal aide at the unit Laboratory Animal Medicine, short for ULAM. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of my coworkers and myself. Over the past 3 years, our manager, Julie Whitbeck, formerly Brinkmeyer, has been posting very hurtful and hateful posts on social media sites, attacking the African-American community and also the LGBTQ plus community. What hurts the most is no one cared to do anything about it. There were no feedback from upper management or HR or anyone else for that matter. We have exhausted all avenues, which brought us here today. It's very unsettling and troubling having Julie as our manager. The 28 years I've been employed here, never have I experienced such hatred because of the color of my skin. My coworkers and I feel that we have targets on our backs. I witnessed very harsh and unfair discipline by Julie towards other employees. I can't help but to think, when am I next? We're working in a very hostile environment, which Julie has created. This is very sickening and disturbing that we have someone like Julie in management. For the Board of Regents and executive officers, we ask that you will hear us and take this in consideration. And thank you all for your time.
We have a question from, pardon me, we have a question from Regent Illich.
I have a question.
Question for you.
Okay.
I heard you say that she has put a lot up on social media. Is that right?
Yes.
Would you mind sending me any screenshots of
We
what
have all
that
that.
is?
Yes. We have everything. Yes, please, everyone.
Thank you.
please
I'm
look at
sorry.
them.
I didn't realize that. I read
Okay.
everything after.
Yes. Yes, everything is right there that you need.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Okay. John Larson. John Larson and then Martin Lane.
Hello, my name is Dr. John Larson. I'm a resident at the University of Michigan. I'm also a rank and file member of the House Officer Association. I'd like to follow the previous statements made by Dr. Kyle Johnson, our HOA president. The University of Michigan prides itself on recruiting diverse leaders in their respective fields, and this principle extends to resident recruitment as well. However, we cannot ignore the financial implications that residents face when choosing their residency location, especially in the context of our ongoing negotiations. For many residents, financial privilege and security are distant dreams, especially considering the burdensome medical school debt that weighs heavily upon us. Let me paint a simple picture for you. We have residents who are the sole providers of their family with multiple children and have to rely on food stamps for their support. Their compensation simply falls short. We have new mothers among us who can struggle to afford formula for the newborns. These are stark realities when faced by residents who devote themselves to serving others. We spoke multiple times about a living wage, and under the current hours, working up to 80 hours a week, which we are allowed to do, we fall under the living wage of Ann Arbor for our first HO1s. Here's the truth. Residents are unique in their circumstances. We cannot simply leave our job for another institution. We are trapped in a system that demands our unwavering commitment for up to 9 years. Working 80 hours a week leaves no room for a second job to secure financial stability. To make matters worse, we are exempt from federal labor protections under the Fair Labor Standards Act. We work tirelessly under grueling conditions, yet we continue to deliver exceptional care for our patients. Our members gladly work as a care team with attendings, nurses, and physician assistants, but of these groups, house officers are the lowest paid by a significant margin. Our ask in bargaining is one of equity, for our members to receive the same wage increases as other care staffs have received already at U of M. Without that commitment, the salaries of our members will fall even further behind the other members of our own care team. Stand with us, support us, and secure a future where Michigan medicine continues to lead as the best in healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Martin Lane. And after Martin Lane is Hannah Fisher.
Hello, my name is Martin Lane and I'm a PA at the University Hospital. I was hired last year and started in September. Around that time, my wife and I found out that we're going to be having another baby in addition to our current 4-year-old. I was very excited to hear about the parental leave policy at University of Michigan and how it was, quote, committed to providing parental leave and bonding time, end quote, to families with the requirement that employees have been working for 6 months before the birth event in order to get the parental leave. Thus, I would have been eligible in March. That would have been great timing as my daughter's due date was in May, but unfortunately due to complications, our baby Robin came into the world 4 months early on January 22nd, weighing a mere 1 pound, 2 ounces. She has had a rough stay in the NICU where she remains today. She was on a ventilator for 2 months. She had bleeding in her brain, seizures, sepsis, and more. Over the past few weeks, she did turn a corner and it is anticipated that we can finally bring her home next month. Immediately after her birth, I was told by HR that I would not get the parental leave due to the 6-month technicality in the contract. When our union appealed, I was told that I would in fact be able to use the parental leave, but it would only be available after I completed the 6 months. That felt reasonable to me. When I did hit the 6-month mark back in March, Robin began to have seizures and I asked to take a couple of days away from work, which my manager put through as parental leave. The next day, I received a call from the university stating that I was no longer going to be eligible for any paid leave. I was told by HR that the only one with the power to make an exception was you, the Regents. There are many studies illustrating the neurodevelopmental benefits of both parents spending quality time with extremely premature infants such as our Robin. And in light of her brain disease, I want to fight to give her the best opportunity I can for her to grow into the person she was supposed to be. So I'm here today to ask for a process to make exceptions for the parental leave policy. Being granted the leave that I would have otherwise received had Robin's birth not gone wrong is the absolute most meaningful and life-changing thing that could happen for our baby girl at this point. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Elena Fisher.
Sally.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Martin,
Sorry.
I just wanted to, first of all, I wanted to thank you for, I'm sorry, I apologize. I want to thank you for coming and speaking today. And I would like to ask the appropriate executive officer to look into that policy so that we can have an ability to evaluate it in a way that I don't know the specific facts. So I'm not going to get deep into the weeds on that, but it's absolutely prompt me to ask the question. I think we should. How do we look at these issues and how can we make accommodations in circumstances that you described? So thanks for your time.
Okay. I said Hannah, but I see it's Alana. Sorry.
That's
And
fine.
then Zachariah Farah.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Fisher. I'm a House Officer Level 4 in Head and Neck Surgery at the University of Michigan, and I am also the Treasurer of the House Officer Association. It is my pleasure and appreciation to address you, the stewards of the legacy and mission of the University of Michigan tonight, as our House Officer negotiations have indeed stalled. For years, the University of Michigan has stood as a national leader in their residency programs. Of 31 residency programs, 13 of ours rank in the top 10. Renowned for its status, the benefits, pay, and the unwavering support of community that the HOA has helped to secure over 50 years of existence. This helps residents endure the challenges of residency and continue to provide the excellent care that's been referenced by community members today. After dealing with a pandemic, epic and unprecedented economic inflation, and stalled negotiations in which a decision maker has not been present in order to negotiate faithfully on behalf of the university, residents are at their wits' end. Although I personally do believe that residents deserve to make a living wage, I believe that you should be invested in this cause because the University of Michigan should make it their mission to recruit the leaders in best in all of the specialties that we do. Residents who choose the University of Michigan are the best of the best in their fields, recruited by the top hospitals in the country from both coasts. Residents rely on recruitment of other residents who are a whisper network and give recommendations tightly within these close medical communities. If our hospital fails to offer competitive wages and packages during your tenure, the caliber of talent we attract will swiftly decline. We recently surveyed our members who revealed that over 90% would inhibit their recommendations if we fail to be able to offer a competitive compensation package. And to reiterate, our package now ranks in the 41st percentile when compared to our peer institutions as defined by the University of Michigan. I believe it is critical for the legacy of our medical hospital and the residencies for us to really offer a competitive salary and benefits package to residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Zachariah Farah. And after Zachariah is Justin Yan.
Hello, my name is Zachariah Farah, and I'm here speaking as a recent U of M alum and current staff researcher at Michigan Medicine. I'm here to tell you how disgusted and disappointed I am by your dishonest behavior during negotiations with grad student workers and residents. I can say that the only reason I received my bachelor's in biochemistry in German was thanks to my GSIs who worked tirelessly to help me succeed. They were not working at half effort, as your public relations team has claimed. It was extremely shocking news to hear that President Ono, your administration, has directed non-instructional staff members to issue false grades with zero grading rather than negotiate in good faith. This means you are guilty of academic dishonesty, and you have diluted the value of my degree that I worked so hard for. You have made a mockery of our university. I don't think it's funny, so I don't think you should be smiling. Throughout this process, I have been astonished that none of the regions have addressed this labor crisis publicly. For example, Regent Acker, you have spent your time tweeting about sports games, state politics, Taylor Swift. Even during this meeting, you were tweeting. You've been tweeting about anything except for the extremely aggressive and anti-labor actions that President Ono has taken, including his threat to put striking workers in jail. Regent Brown, on the other hand, you haven't offered even the slightest bit of support for striking workers. I remind you that you ran on a pro-labor platform when you campaigned for your seat, and the rest of you don't seem to even claim to be pro-labor. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And President Ono, your behavior has been deeply embarrassing to me as an alum, and your aggression towards your own workers is unforgivable. Shame on you. If you do not change your anti-labor stances, you will go down in UM history as a bully and a coward. How do you spell coward? How do you spell power?
We have two more speakers who we'd like to hear from. So the next one is Justin Yan, and after Justin is Jesse Milne.
Hello,
My name is Justin Yuen, and I'm a recent U of M alum, a member of the Huron Valley Democratic Socialists of America, and a union organizer. I'm here today to speak about how angry and disappointed I and the wider community are with the University of Michigan's long-standing pattern of union-busting behavior. My academic success was fundamentally dependent on the hard work and long, full-time hours that graduate student instructors put in, far beyond the part-time description U of M arbitrarily ascribes to them. It has been and remains clear that U of M has consistently refused to bargain in good faith with GEO, and this unfortunately extends far beyond graduate workers. Residents at Michigan Medicine have faced similarly greedy behavior in their bargaining, and if the pattern holds from basically every previous cycle of bargaining, the lecturers are sure to face the same situation. And even beyond the main campuses of U of M and Michigan Medicine, the Block M has been closely associated with austerity and cruel anti-labor practices across the state. Nurses, techs, and other healthcare workers from Alpena to Alma to West Branch have faced brutal union busting at My Michigan, Trinity, and Sparrow facilities where Michigan Medicine has partnerships and even financial stakes. It is disgusting to see a system like My Michigan use a Block M in their logo and advertise Michigan Medicine level care while stalling at the bargaining table, illegally retaliating against organizing workers, and even illegally pushing for the decertification of worker unions. Shame on the Board of Regents, President Ono, Provost McCauley, and the rest of the U of M administration. You are complicit in these violations of the internationally recognized human right of workers to collectively organize. Yet you continue to lie to our faces and abase yourselves. For some of you, the expectations were already non-existent, but for the others, either begin putting your money where your mouth is, or do us all the dignity of at least being honest about prioritizing money over people. And to Regent Weiser, stop raising my rent, man.
Okay, our final speaker is Jesse Melding.
Hi, I'm Jessie. I'm here to support Erica Ventura and her coworkers because I believe that no one should have to tolerate a homophobic and racist boss. So I'm an opioid researcher at U of M, and I'm also a lesbian. So chatting with my coworkers about my life inherently includes my identities. If I worked at ULAM, I might be where Erica is now. So ULAM's husbandry manager, Julie Whitbeck, has created an environment of mistrust and fear where workers can't speak out against her racism and homophobia without fear of retaliation. Since she's still in charge of hiring and discipline, of course, there's going to be retaliation, bias, and discrimination. There has been no accountability. Julie considers herself untouchable, having been at U of M for 20 years. Seniority is not an excuse for bigotry. Being targeted at work means all eyes are always on you. So it's not surprising to me that coworkers were listening really closely to Erica's break room conversations, waiting to hear anything that can be warped and used against her in that type of environment. So queer people talking about queer issues in the workplace is not a problem. It is a blessing that we bring our unique perspectives to U of M. Julie has posted horrible things on her social media, and our values do not disappear once we set foot on campus. For example, my research lab centers harm reduction as a core value of our work, and we bring on folks who share those values to work with us. Just as my team might hesitate to hire somebody who expresses stigma toward drug users, you should hesitate to retain a manager with a track record of bigotry. There is a clear pattern of queer people and people of color either being fired or quitting ULAM. And the university has the responsibility to reconsider Erica's termination and further investigate this toxic work environment that Julie has created.
Regent Brown.
That concludes the public statement, and I'd just like to say on behalf of all of the regents, which we say every time, I've been on that side of the mic. I know how nerve-wracking and scary it can be, but we appreciate it very much. We listen to every word of every speaker, and we consider it closely. So again, thank you. We appreciate it, and thanks for coming.